From the surface streets to the hidden tunnels below, it's layered and dense. It's built to feel lived in. Pioneer Square is the most recognizable spot, pulled straight from the real world. Then it's home to the Underground Tour, a whole network of buried streets beneath the modern city. Not far from there, you'll find Harbor Island, a gritty industrial port crawling with secrets. And then you have the Jungle, a massive encampment where Thin Bloods try to survive on the city's margins. Each district has its own pulse. Chinatown hums with neon signs and narrow alleys. The Red Light District glows in pink and blue, filled with strip clubs and sex shops that mask darker dealings. Around the Macomb and Glacier, you'll find wealth and privilege, places where high society drinks and schemes while the rest of the city freezes outside. Seattle in this game isn't a summer postcard, it's winter. Snow blankets the streets, something rare for the real Seattle, and that's intentional.
We're still under a severe storm warning, and it's cold, cold, cold out there.
You'll notice humans exhale warm breath in the cold, while your character doesn't. It's a subtle reminder that you're not alive anymore. The storm isn't just for looks either. It's a sign that the city is in flux, an omen that the balance of power is about to shift, and yes, blood looks incredible against the snow. Traversal through this city feels fast and predatory. You can leap from the rooftops, drop into alleys, cross the map like a shadow. It's a design choice that reinforces how the world sees you. Unnatural, untouchable, unstoppable. But you're not quite unkillable. You're not just exploring a map, you're hunting across one. Seattle's clans leave their marks everywhere. Each has its own domain and atmosphere. Fletcher, the Ventru contact, holds court at the Macomb Bar, a space of pure luxury. Every inch is dripping with status and control. And then there's Nico, who runs Aurora Pawn. It's a dingy little shop where he watches the city from behind bulletproof glass. His place is a far cry from Macomb, but it tells you everything about the Banu Hakim street-level approach.
So I ripped out his spleen. Some people really do not know how to behave.
You also have the Dutchman, that's run by the Brewha Silky, the Wake the Dead Cafe, run by Mrs. Thorne, Tremere Primogen, the Hole in the Wall, where the Anarchs gather, and the Nomads' Haven at Pioneer Square. Each clan's territory says something about who they are and how they survive here. However, to truly understand Seattle, you must examine its history with the Camarilla. They've had roots here since the city's founding. Lou Graham's a real historical figure. She helped rebuild Seattle after the Great Fire of 1889. And in this world, that influence runs deeper than anyone knows. Her haven, the Glacier Hotel, embodies the old city. Refined, conservative, it's a relic of Camarilla ideals. Her childer, Campbell and Ryong, live in Weaver Tower, a gleaming skyscraper that represents modern Seattle, corporate, ambitious, and ruthless. The contrast between them mirrors the city itself. Old power clinging to survival, while new blood claws for dominance. And here's where you come in. As Fire, your choices don't just affect your allies and enemies, they reshape Seattle itself. If you side with the Camarilla, the city tightens under order and tradition. Stand with the Anarchs, and chaos brings new life into the streets. It's even advisable to change your wardrobe depending on where you hunt. Biker outfits will get you more fans around the Dutchman, while doing the same around Glacier will scare citizens away. You decide which version of Seattle survives. By the end, the skyline might look the same, but what it stands for depends entirely on you. Seattle's not just a setting, it's a reflection. Cold, beautiful, and unforgiving. It's a city that rewards power and punishes hesitation. And if you listen closely while walking those empty, snow-covered streets, you can almost hear it breathing. Because in this city, everything has a heartbeat, except for the dead.
The first step to successful combat is knowing how to make your enemies miss. Dashing is your best friend, allowing for quick, timed movements away from the attacks. If you need to escape the combat to a vantage point, use Vampiric Sprint to get away. Later on, your Relocate discipline powers will also come to use. Master them to become unhittable. Remember that you can't avoid the attacks when you're feeding, so feed strategically. Tip 2. Learn the full array of your melee attacks. Your main attack is the light attack. It differs depending on your clan. For example, with Banu Hakim's attack being faster and Tremere's having more range. Strong attack is useful to break your enemy's guard. Dashing into your enemy's strike as it hits leaves them open for a counterattack. Dashing in various directions followed with a light attack causes a kick, which differs depending on the direction. kicks push your enemies away. If you want to pull your enemies closer, that's where telekinesis comes in. You can't pull enemies who are actively resisting, but anyone else is a free piece to drag around or grab for a quick feed. Tip 3. Use gravity to your advantage. Gravity doesn't concern you, but it does concern your enemies. Falling from heights will kill or hurt them, and you can use it against anyone who dares to stand high above you. Pull enemies off the roof with telekinesis or push them out with your kicks. The result is the same: splat. Tip 4. Check for vantage points. Most enemies can be finished off with one stealth attack, and the easiest way to pull it off is from above. Fall on your opponents from vantage points, stacked objects, ceiling beams, and scaffolding. You can also use your disciplines from above, watching people below you squirm. Tip 5. Use enemies' weapons against them. Every weapon your enemies wield can be used against them. Melee weapons work best when thrown back at their heads, and all guns can be used with telekinesis until their magazines are empty. Pick them up from your enemies' corpses or force drop them with taunt. You can also throw back some projectiles at them. Tip 6. Check for items lying around. You can pick up a variety of items directly from the ground. Use heightened senses to see them highlighted around you. Small ones work best as distractors. Throw them where you want to make a sound and lead an enemy away from the group. Some items do good damage while thrown at enemies. Look for something sharp or heavy, and others may even explode. Fire extinguishers are an elder's best friend. Don't quote me on that. Tip 7. Use your elixirs. You can find thin blood elixirs in many places throughout the game. Some work as equivalents of health or blood potions, but you can also find potence and fortitude elixirs that boost your physical strength and defense, respectively. Use them during boss fights and in harder encounters. And if you can't get close to a potion, you can pick it up using your telekinesis. Tip 8. Learn the full array of your discipline powers. Discipline powers will make your unlife much easier, and they become even more useful when you discover different ways in which you can use them. For example, Tremere Recall lets you teleport back to your sigil, but did you know it also kills or damages enemies who stand on it? Banu Hakim's Bladed Hand can cut heads off many opponents at once if you line them up together. You'll discover more of these extra features as you use your disciplines more, so always come to combat stacked with blood. Tip 9. Unlock more powers from clan trainers. You're not bound to your clan powers for the rest of the game. You can unlock all active abilities in the game from clan trainers. You can find them in various locations around the city, but they will only work with you once you get official approval from the prince. Then, they will ask for a price of resonant blood for their lessons, so make sure to hunt for the best blood as you traverse through Seattle. Tip 10. Discover powerful discipline combos. Some discipline powers work great together. Mass manipulation can be paired with terminal decree to kill as many opponents at once, or with taunt to disarm them, allowing you to pick as many guns as you please. Cauldron of Blood can be paired with Blood Curse to attract many enemies in one spot before exploding one of them in the middle. You can also change your abilities at any time, even mid-combat, to unlock other powerful combos and test things together. Have fun with it. Here's an extra tip. You can grow your health bar by collecting the marks painted with your blood hidden around the city. Use heightened senses and pay attention to the reactive crosshair to find them. Gain more experience by laying down the law as a sheriff to stray kindred haunting the rooftops of Seattle. Remember, you can use gravity to your advantage. Heal with feeding, which is best done when you separate one enemy away from the others.
Now, the Masquerade is the law that keeps vampires hidden, the line between survival and execution. If humanity were to discover the truth, kindred society would collapse overnight. Hunters rise and the Camarilla burns what's left. Every vampire in Seattle, from the sheriff to the street rats, has a stake in keeping this secret. And the moment you step into the streets of Seattle in Quest 2 in Chains of Lead and Gold, you will spot an eye icon at the top of your screen, your window into the Masquerade. If the eyes open, mortals can see you. If it's closed, you're safe. That ring is your Masquerade meter, and it fills whenever you do something vampiric in sight, and the colour tells you how much trouble you're in. Yellow means suspicion. People are starting to notice, but red means panic. Someone has seen something they shouldn't. Some run, some will fight. If the ring fills while red, that's a full breach. In Seattle, the court scourge will stake you on spot and drag you back to face judgment. No second chances. As a consequence, you will lose some blood resonance and reload to the last checkpoint. Seattle's Masquerade law doesn't forgive carelessness. Landing from a rooftop in front of a crowd, sprinting or jumping with vampiric speed while the eyes are open, using powers where people can see you, and of course, feeding in public. A few minor infractions will push the meter from yellow to red, but a serious act like feeding in a crowded street can trigger a full breach instantly. And if you're in a high security area or somewhere already under investigation, one mistake is enough to get you executed on the spot. If you've triggered a breach, you're not doomed just yet, but you need to move fast as you can without triggering the meter further. Breaking the line of sight will start to calm the meter, and rooftops are your best escape routes. Unseen Aura, the stealth ability of the Banu Hakim, lets you fade from sight completely. Enter Oblivion, the shadow step power of the La Sombra, does the same. Perfect for disappearing mid-pursuit. Blink, the Toreador's relocate ability, is great for quick elevation, especially once you've unlocked their clan perk Fleetness, which lets you reuse relocate abilities more freely. It still costs blood, but your blood pips recharge over time, keeping you mobile without constantly feeding. And in the case where mortals have seen something, use Cloud Memory, one of the Ventru's dominate powers, to erase their recollection, or you can combine it with Mass Manipulation, another Ventru technique to calm an entire group of mortals at once. And in the case where someone has started to run to report you, chase them down before they reach the police. The longer they stay alive and panicked, the higher your risk climbs. Now, fire feeds because they must. They need vitae, the lifeblood within human blood, to heal, fuel their powers, and gradually reconnect with the disciplines sealed off by the mark. Feeding safely simply comes down to awareness. If the eye is closed, you're clear. If it's open, someone can see you, even your victim. Set up your feed before you strike. When things inevitably go sideways mid-feed, remember you cannot be interrupted, but you can still take damage. Stygian Shroud, the La Sombra's defensive perk, stops mortals from striking you during a feed, a lifesaver in tense situations. And blood resonance is what makes this all the more tangible. That's the particular flavour of a person's blood, and it is the key to unlocking powers from other clans. There are three main types of blood resonance: choleric, born of anger; sanguine, drawn from desire; and melancholic, steeped in fear or sadness. Use heightened senses to find pedestrians leaning towards one of these moods. Then talk to them, push their emotion with dialogue or appearance until they're fully resonant. Feeding on a fully resonant mortal restores all ability pips, heals more health, and grants resonance points used to unlock abilities from other clans. And certain clan powers directly generate these resonances. Taunt, the Bruja's aggression ability, stirs choleric rage. Beckon from the Toreador fuels sanguine attraction. And Glimpse of Oblivion, a La Sombra fear power, induces melancholic dread. Combine all of them with Mass Manipulation, the Ventru's crowd control ability, to influence multiple targets at once. A fast and efficient way to gather what you need. Just a bit of food for thought. Different clan outfits also lean towards these three resonances, so mix and match your look to influence the kind of blood you'll draw. If you get sloppy, this city won't let it slide. Police will close in fast once the meter hits red. Break line of sight, go vertical, use stealth, whatever it takes to lose them. But there's also a trick to it. If someone attacks you while the police are watching, they'll turn on them instead, as long as you stay non-violent. A little manipulation goes a long way. Let the mortals do all the dirty work while you melt back into the shadows. The rooftops are your sanctuary, the crowd is your downfall. Seattle is alive, reactive, and always watching. NPCs in Seattle follow their own biases. For example, former Prince Lou likes Ventrue, but isn't a fan of Tremere, and Isabella immediately calls out the Banu Hakim for their bloodthirsty reputation, but her tone softens if you're someone she respects or relates to. If you're a Toreador, she recognizes you as one of her own, unlocking a unique dialogue path that reflects your shared appreciation for art, something that may come back to help you later on. And then we have Fabian, the Malkavian detective living rent-free in your head. His powers make him unusually good at working alone and getting to the truth. He can use Mask of 1,000 Faces to appear as someone else, perfect for questioning suspects or slipping into places he shouldn't be. With Spirit's Touch, he can investigate objects or corpses by talking to them and uncovering what they've seen. Scry the Soul lets him read a person's aura to sense their emotions and whether they're lying or hiding something. And Forgetful Mind lets him wipe recent memories, especially handy if you push too hard in an interrogation and hit that point where someone decides they're done talking. Before his embrace, Fabian was a conspiracy theorist convinced vampires were real, until his sire, Gideon, turned him to serve the Camarilla's masquerade. Now he hides behind a noir detective persona to hold on to his humanity, a tether to the man he used to be before becoming a monster. Now, abilities are built to work together as clans. For example, use Tremere's blood curse on a target, then Ventrue's possession to make them attack their allies. When they take damage, the curse detonates, taking everyone else with it. Clean, elegant, and deeply satisfying. Now, Seattle's mortals might not know your clan, but they'll definitely judge your style. Outfits are unlocked as you gain clan or cross-clan abilities, and while they aren't tied to a single clan, each reflect a certain attitude: intimidating, seductive, wealthy, or street-worn, and every reaction feeds into blood resonance, the emotions that flavour a person's blood. Dress cheap or grungy, and the sex workers will brush you off, while the homeless think you're after their spot. Wear leathers and you'll intimidate the rich, but to an angry biker, you look like one of their own. Go overtly sexy and you'll nudge people straight into a sanguine mood. The Toreador wardrobe exists for that. Bruja-style leathers hit either choleric or melancholic territory fast, either provoking or scaring depending on who's looking. If you need sanguine blood, dress to charm, flirt with the high-end, or turn on the allure in the streets. If you need choleric blood, play the class card, rich mocking the poor, poor mocking the rich. And if you need melancholic blood, go for intimidating, leathers in a luxury district, or finery in the wrong neighborhood. If you happen to get a hold of the La Sombra's priest outfit, expect reactions all over the spectrum: reverence, resentment, or something a little more confessional. Thirdly, Banu Hakim, Clan of the Hunt. Banu Hakim are stealth assassins who live for silence and precision. Unseen aura turns you invisible. Mute silences a target completely. Split second slows time for perfect positioning, and Bladed Hand finishes the job in one clean motion. Their passive, Silence of Death, makes all actions inaudible after feeding, and their perk Prowl lets you sprint while crouched. Now, their mastery rating is hard, rewarding for players who want clean, surgical stealth kills and flawless execution. At number 4, we have Ventrue, Clan of Kings. Ventrue specialise in control, influence, and sheer authority. They use mass manipulation to command crowds, possession to turn enemies against each other, terminal decree to issue kill orders, and cloud memory to erase witnesses. Their passive, Flesh of Marble, hardens the body after feeding, and their perk, Resilience, restores more health during it. Their mastery rating is easy, best for players who enjoy control, strategy, and never losing their composure. At number 5, we have Toreador, the Clan of Divas. Toreador are agile fighters who thrive on charm, movement, and flair. Entrancing Kiss turns foes into allies. Blink lets you instantly reposition. Blurred Momentum heightens your reflexes, automatically deflecting melee strikes as you move, like a built-in counter stance that lets you slip through attacks instead of taking them, and Beckon lures enemies closer. Their passive, Cat's Grace, boosts movement speed after feeding, and their perk, Fleetness, lets you reuse relocate abilities more freely. They still cost blood, but your blood pips slowly refill over time, so even when you're not feeding, those abilities recharge naturally. And their mastery rating is normal, suitable for players who like elegance, speed, and reactive combat. Lastly, we have La Sombra, the Night Clan. La Sombra command Shadow itself, stealth, power, and pure intimidation. Arms of Ahriman pins targets in place. Shadow Step lets you teleport through enemy silhouettes, always placing you on the far side of whoever you're facing, which makes it perfect for slipping behind a target and landing a clean stealth kill. Glimpse of Oblivion spreads fear, and Enter Oblivion drags foes into the void with you. Their passive, Shadow Cloak, boosts stealth after feeding, and their perk, Stygian Shroud, makes mortals unable to harm you while feeding. And just like Banu Hakim, their mastery rating is hard, built for players who love precision, timing, and power that demands respect. Now, your clan choice also changes how people treat you. This is where you can preview each clan's abilities, passives, perks, and their mastery rating before you decide to lock in. And if you ever want to revisit this moment, you can load the save called In Chains of Lead and Gold at any time. It drops you right back before this decision. Now, each clan has a mastery rating, basically how tricky it is to master their playstyle. Easy clans like Ventru are built to feel powerful straight away. Harder ones like Banu Hakim or La Sombra take practice and timing to get right, but when you do, they are devastating. We'll go over how that difficulty translates in the clan breakdowns. It's worth mentioning that every nomad starts with the same base powers, including heightened senses, which essentially helps you spot hidden details and track enemies. Where clans begin to branch off is in discipline affinities. Affinities don't unlock new powers instantly, but they make out-of-clan abilities cheaper to learn with ability points. For instance, Banu Hakim naturally have an affinity for blood sorcery, so Tremere powers are easier for them to pick up. On the other hand, Toreador lean into agility and brawling, meaning some Brujah abilities come naturally to them. Abilities are generally designed like modular pieces. Mix, match, and experiment to find combos that fit your playstyle. It's all a part of the fun. Okay, let's talk clans. First up, Brujah, the learned clan. Brujah thrive in fast, aggressive, close quarters combat. They use charge to blitz across the room, Earthshock to send shockwaves through the floor, Taunt to draw enemies in, and Lightning Strike for rapid, multi-target hits. Their passive, Brutality, boosts melee damage after feeding, while their perk, Spark of Rage, extends that bonus to kills, keeping that momentum rolling. And their mastery rating is normal, perfect for players who like to dive headfirst into fights. Second, we have the Tremere, the Broken Clan. Tremere are ranged, tactical blood mages who turn combat into calculated chaos. Blood Salvo fires rapid bursts of blood projectiles. Cauldron of Blood cooks enemies from within. Blood Curse marks them for explosive ruptures, and Recall lets you snap back to safety. Their passive, Corrosive Touch, melts enemies after feeding, and their perk, Blood of Potency, restores extra vitae to a random ability every time you feed, keeping your spells ready to cast again that much sooner. Their mastery rating is normal, ideal for players who like precision, setup, and watching a plan pay off.